Those old-fashioned woodshed just beat us in every aspect of the game. I thought McDuffie was really, really good after being under the weather for 2 days at Duke and coming back and fighting what he had, that virus. I thought he was outstanding, gave us a chance to win. Other than that, though, we just weren't very good, and they were really good. And best thing to do with that, we can do with that, is flush it, move on, and get ready to play Queens tomorrow.
Is there anything specific you tell your locker room after a game like this as you look towards tomorrow?
Move on. I mean, you walk in, when you have a good club and you walk in, if it's like a funeral, you know that they're upset, and that's how it is. After we lose, even more so, obviously, they didn't want to play like that. They didn't want to get their fannies whipped. And, unfortunately, you play this many games. It doesn't happen too often. Hasn't really happened to us. But again, I do want to give credit where credit's due, and I thought Coastal came in here and played really well. And when we didn't play well and you play against a team like that, that's what happens. We let it get away from us that one inning, obviously, that 6th spot.
Walker's changeup, how have you seen that develop as a pitch for him?
I thought he was in complete control. Credit to them, that was a 2-strike changeup, barely off Hole's glove. He got a good beat on it, didn't catch it. And then they got a couple big hits, but still, I mean, it's 3-2. And we have to have guys step up that aren't Walker, McDuffie, and Caden Glauber. Glauber wasn't available tonight, and the more I chewed on it, the more I wanted to give Jason at least one more day rest at this point in the season. I just felt like that was the right thing to do for him. That extra day, those 5 days, he'll be ready to go. Whatever we decide, may start him tomorrow to get his work in and start Lynch against Duke, but I'm just going to focus on Queens before we move on to Duke.
You talked about the bad at-bats at a couple of games against Duke. Was it the same sort of dynamic today, or was it different?
Yeah, I thought our at-bats stunk against their starter. He had one pitch. He didn't show he could throw an all-speed pitch for a strike. Obviously, Cooper had a big swing in the bat. That was a really good at-bat, I thought. I think Gavin stung one up the middle, and then they brought in the next guy who had velocity. But again, he didn't really have an all-speed pitch that he could locate. And I just thought they did things better than we did, especially offensively, top to bottom with their approach was better than our approach. And they put some pressure on us with some good bunts. We didn't make the plays that we should make, and that's where that inning got away from us.
Felt like you were trying to find something with the guys pitching. I think 3 pitchers, 7 pitches, 6 runs.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we got to have somebody else step up. Obviously, I thought Rose was pretty good. We had a plan, obviously, with Duffy being fresh. I would have liked for Rose to go longer, but he had thrown a lot of pitches in those 2 innings. Getting up there into that almost 50-pitch count. We knew Duff could give us 70, 75 pitches if we needed him to. And then after that, you got to have, if Rose goes longer, Duffy might finish the game, but he didn't go long enough to do that. We're going to have, for us to reach the goal that we want to reach, we're going to have 1 or 2 of those arms step up for us and be consistent.
When your team has subpar at bats, will you ever take that video and use that as a teaching moment as you guys go farther down?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you still coach. You don't pout. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in feeling sorry for yourself. Nobody hurts worse than the players. If they're not hurting, you're going to stink anyway. This is a great group. I believe in this group. Love coaching this group. We're not going to let one game define us. We've won a lot of games, and if we let it, I'm a firm believer that when you do fail, it makes you way, way better, and a game like this can really help you reach your goals if you let that be the case.
Do you know who you will start against Queens?
I don't. Most likely, it'll be DeCaro all 5 days.
You talk about response all the time. What do you want to see? How do you want to see your team respond tomorrow?
Yeah, I want them to move on. Obviously, it's going to eat at them, but you can't let a game like that linger. You play so many games in baseball. When you lose, you lose. We got our fanny whipped, but if we get, if the game's close and they score 1 in the 9th and we lose by 1, at the end of the day, a loss is a loss, and that's what we preach to them. Being process oriented, don't let the outcomes distract you, and don't hold on to it. So we got to wake up tomorrow. We got to move on. It's a new day, and we got to be ready to play against Queens.
I believe that was Cooper's 4th home in the last 9 games. A couple multi-hit games in there too. Just how would you evaluate kind of how he's?
I think he had a really slow start to the season. We keep considering maybe moving up even more, which I'm probably gonna do. But he's a threat. He has consistent at bats. He's got a high on-base percentage, and he does damage when he hits it. That's why he has, such a good slug. So I thought he had a great at bat against that sinker, and that's where he got that ball in the air. I thought he had another at bat where the guy. I think right now against Cooper Nicholson, you have to make pitches, and it's not the case top to bottom, but we can get that where it's the case more often.
Coach, a couple of guys got some more experience tonight. Got another at bat from Sawyer Black, Perry Hargett, and then obviously Jake Kakovich gets a inning and some change on the mound. And what's the difference between putting guys in a game where you're down versus putting guys in a game when you're up? Is there any difference in that? What you look for from those players?
Yeah, I mean, when you have a good group, a really good group that works, you also want to give them opportunities, whether or not you're ahead, whether or not you're down, and you also have different reasons, that you want to get those guys in there, whether or not it could be. Sometimes, you might think we might need those guys in a big situation, like a Perry Hargett, like a Michael McGinnis, like a Sawyer Black, Lee Sowers. So you don't just, you never hear, we don't at least, or I don't. I'm never going to throw in the towel. I want to get those guys in there and get them at bats. So if we need them in big situations, they've had some at bats.
Appreciate
Thank y'all.
it. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Coach.
Coach.